Hey guys, welcome to Race Speed. I am Matt. This video I want to talk about 3 mods I think you should do to your EcoBoost Mustang before you get serious about doing track days. Now, if you're a beginner, you're going out for your first time, these mods are not required. They are just recommendations I'm giving you for when you try to get a little more serious, you try putting down some good lap times and just really get on the car a lot. Your first time out, first few times out really, all about trying to get instruction, getting some seat time, getting acclimated with the car on a racetrack, getting used to driving it, those speeds on a racetrack. I mean, you got the whole surface. You're not just designated to one side of the road. Things are different, and you need to learn those things. So I know a lot of people have anxiety, getting out for their first track day. I'm going to be putting a series of videos together to help you with that. But the number one thing, again, I wanted to start with was the car, and number one mod I think you should do. So that's, let's get right to it, and I think you should upgrade your intercooler. The reason I think that is because heat soak is a bad thing. It will ruin your track day real quick. If you're only getting a handful of laps in, you're not going to have enough time to learn anything, and you're just going to be disappointed. So upgrade the intercooler if you're going to be really getting on the car. These engines hate the heat, and you want to pull in as much cool air as possible. So there's a lot of options out there, from like $500 on up. You can get something that's a direct replacement like I did with the Mishimoto. There's other ones out there that require some other modifications, give you even more surface space, bring in more air in, more cooling, helping out even more. So in the end, you're getting horsepower back. I mean, the intercooler is not actually usually giving you much horsepower. It's just letting you retain it longer as the engine heats up. And while you're doing that modification, you could also do charge pipes, you could change radiator if you want, an oil cooler, things like that, because you do have to take the front fascia of the car off. It's a little bit of a process for that, so if you're paying to have it done, maybe doing a few other mods at the same time can help save you some money over the long term. But if you got to do it yourself, once you've done the bumper a couple times, it's not that bad. It's not as dreadful to do, so keep that in mind. A lot more you can do at the same time, save yourself a few bucks. Especially if they're cooling related, again, it's just going to give you more track time without any issues. I've never had any heat soak issues with the car. It just runs strong all day long. Usually, in fact, I get my fastest lap times of the day in the very last session when I'm really just letting everything loose. The car's been hot all day, tires have been hot all day, but I end up getting my best time. So just a testament to some of the modifications I've done to help get to that point. So while we're on heat, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing that I recommend you do, again, when you get serious, and that's making sure you have proper brakes. Pads, rotors, fluid, all that stuff. It's all important, especially when heat's involved. If you have a non-performance pack EcoBoost, we all feel sorry for you, and we recommend that you at least move up to the 4-piston caliper before you get serious. Again, going out for the first time, as long as you're not getting on the brakes too bad and you go out with pads that at least have half their pad left on them, you should be fine. But before you get serious, at least move to the 4-piston. Now, I have a performance pack, but I moved from the 4-piston before I ever got on track right up to the 6-piston GT performance pack Brembos. Now, you can get those as a kit. Ford Performance puts it together. It comes with the 6-piston Brembo, 15-inch rotors, and pads. You can get those from CJ Pony Parts. I'll put a link down in the description for those. If you have the money, that's the best route to go. Just jump right up to these, because the rest of the modifications, you're really going to want to do the brake setup as you get more and more advanced as a driver and you need to push your car more and more. These are a good stepping stone. So I went and ran an entire season with the stock pads that came with that kit and the stock rotors. I didn't even change the fluid. I was still running the .3 fluid, which I'll get to in a minute. But they ran fine. I didn't have any problems, but I was still a beginner, and I only ran 4 track days. I really wasn't pushing the brakes anywhere near the way that I do now. And as I've learned, you learn a little bit more about how you should really be driving on track. You become more comfortable with things, and then you can start tailoring your modifications towards what you're really trying to accomplish on track, which for me is a faster lap at that track every time I go there. So hoping to always make an adjustment to my car so that, even if I'm skilled out as far as my line and what I'm capable of doing repetitively, I need my car to be able to give me more and more so I can keep pushing it more and more. With that said, brakes will hold you back, and if you're at the end of your session and your brakes are really faded you're not going to get those fast lap times, and maybe you had some traffic earlier in the session, and now you got some clear space, but your brakes suck. So again, heat can make for a bad day, whether it's your brakes, it's your engine, whatever it is, your body. Just keep that in mind. So I went ahead and I changed a bunch of things out after that, and I changed to the Hawk HPS 5.0 pads, which I definitely recommend you guys doing. When you get serious, we have a good streetable pad that is perfectly fine for doing several track days. They wore well, dust wasn't too bad, really no complaints. Then I moved to new rotors. So again, I already had the 6-piston Brembos. I can now replace the rotors that came with those with new rotors that are better. I went with the Errata Speed 2-piece rotor. They're a little on the pricey side, but the performance on them is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I can't say enough about them. They look amazing, and again, they've worked so well for me. But I've put a lot of money into this conversion, but I've done it in steps. With that being said, you have a lot of options, guys. Again, I recommend getting at least the 4 pistons, change the pads out, and then let's worry about the fluid. So the .3 that comes with these cars is fine for the street and for some light to moderate track use, but once you get serious, it's just not going to hold up to the temperatures that you're putting down with a bigger system. Now, I never had to change out the master cylinder or anything with all this stuff, just so you guys know, and it's been running fine for 3 years now. But I changed to the Modal 600 fluid. It's a .4, much higher boiling temp, and I've never had any issues. I don't get any kind of fade. I don't have any problems. Anytime I need the brakes, they're there. But I have to pay attention to things. I mean, when you start tracking your car, you know, if you're not a mechanic, you kind of need to become kind of one. You need to be familiar with the car. You need to know when something's not working right, so you can either make an adjustment or just get off track so you can take it somewhere. So it's good to know how your brakes are supposed to feel. You know, be able to check them. So you know, every track day, I take the wheels off the car, I pull my pads, I check the wear, I re-grease them if I need to, and put everything back together. Brake fluid gets flushed, oil gets changed. All that needs to happen to keep these components running good longer. You know, I got a stock motor with a big turbo on it, but I'm not putting a ton of power to the point where I'm really worried about blowing it up, but I run it really hard for long periods of time. It's not a 10, 12 second, you know, run down the quarter-mile strip. You know, it's a 15, 20-minute session around a race course, and that's much, much harder on these cars when you're building up that heat and you're keeping it there for a long period of time. So any heat you can dissipate is going to help prolong all those components, and that's a huge thing. So that's enough about heat management. I can ramble about that forever. There's still more to this car that needs to be done to accomplish some more things, but to get started and to still have a real good time and be aggressive, you can do a handful of things real easily without a whole lot of money and have a really good time. So let's go ahead and get to the last thing I recommend. This is the only upgrade on your car that should be touching the ground at your tires. Tires are a hard thing for me to kind of give advice on as far as, you know, what exactly you should have, because everyone has a different situation, so you need to take that into account. My car does not see winter at all. It's a summer car. So for me, I can run a summer-only tire and be okay. Now, I ran, again, stock tires on this car with the wheels for an entire year while I was running, you know, the upgraded brakes and everything. I was still running stock tires, and they did fine. Didn't really have any problems, but I didn't realize how bad they were until I moved to better tires, and now it's like, oh geez, you know, that's why I have to recommend tires as a change out for you guys. So if your car's new and your wheels and tires are still in really good shape, if you can afford now to buy different wheels, maybe lighter weight and better tires, do that and then get those off of there and sell those and get some of your money back, or keep them for a winter set depending on what your needs are. Or just use them until they're all done like I did, and then I turned around and sold the used tires on the little bit slightly scuffed up wheels for $500. You know, it was money that went back towards the price that I had to pay to buy new wheels and tires. Now, I ran the Nitto NT05s last season. Moving from the, you know, P0s to those was a big difference. They were way more grip, but they didn't do very well on wet surfaces. I didn't do any track days in the wet, but just having to drive them in the wet a couple times, they weren't the best, and it was recommended that you really didn't do anything aggressively with them. So this year I decided to move up to something that would allow me to do wet and dry equally and have a good time. So I moved all the way up to the very top street tire. That's the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S. They've been phenomenal. I mean, they're a great tire, but they're expensive. But I've ran them in the rain on the track, and they did really well. Dry, they're doing really well. So I definitely recommend them. But if you are not in a situation where you can run a summer-only tire and you can't run 2 sets, then get yourself on like Tire Rack. Do some searching for different all-season tires that are going to offer the best dry grip, yet offer adequate wet, snow, or ice traction as well if you need that. That way you're getting the tire that's going to be safest for you all year round. If you can afford to run 2 sets of tires or wheels for a daily driver, that would be best, but not everyone can. So I see guys at track days all the time with all-season tires on. They're not going to go as fast as guys that have high-performance stuff, but they're still going to have a good time. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to spend any of this money right now. You can go out to the track today with your stock car, still have a great time, and be looking to come back for more. So with all that said, guys, I hope this video was somewhat informative for you. I plan on doing a little bit of a series to kind of give you guys some pointers and things to get yourself prepared for the track and get you on track is my goal. I just wanted to see as many people going out there with their Mustangs and having a good time, doing what these cars are made to do. And if I can give you some tips along the way or some motivation, encouragement, support, whatever it may be, I'm here for that. So let us all know down in the comments what you guys are doing to get your car ready for the track or what you've already done on track. Let me know if you got a channel and you got some videos you want me to watch. Give you pointers. You want to give me some pointers. You've been doing it longer. That's cool too. I just want to help build the community, guys, and get, like I said, get as many of you out there as possible doing what I do. Maybe I'll see you out someday and get to chase you down, or you get to chase me down. Be a good time. So make sure you like the video. That helps support me. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And until next video, guys, have a great day. Thank you for watching.